And welcome back. We're picking up from where we left off last time in Philogori Empires and Persia. We've gone ahead and done troop movement assignments in the end of the last part. We have Athens under siege. However, our immediate interpretation of the siege state implies we don't have enough siege strength. So yeah, we're unlikely to actually take Athens by storm, nor take it by siege at the moment. So we're basically at the point where we need to actually bring in a better siege army to lay siege, at least to free up the main army so we can take over Sparta while we're waiting. We may also technically be in a state with Athens where I suppose we could probably actually try to negotiate Athens hand over its capital and we'll give everything else back. As weird as that might sound, that might actually be a plausibility, right? With Athens, we really just want Athens. Right, we got a quest to take Athens. Right, so if I say, hey, give me Atticus. Like, they're willing to give me Atticus. Just straight up, hey, can I have your capital? And they'd be like, yeah, have my capital. We want you. We want you. And we want you. So yeah, if we're desperate, we could probably just negotiate for them to give us the stuff we want. We probably would want to take that, and probably take this, and probably just, like, we probably let them have Thessalonica, but we take, like, Aetolia. Right, 50% chance, yeah. They'd probably take that. If we successfully go lay siege to Argos, we probably want to take Argos as well. Take Argollate as well, and yeah, they're still looking at, they really don't want this war. They'll give in, right? Let them keep all the territory up there. We're going to push the war a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure how the quest goal works. I think quest goal-wise, we might technically get the one victory instead of the double victory if we were to peace out this way. So we're going to cancel this for that. So yeah, the goal right now is we got a siege army in the middle of being trained over here in Asia Minor. This is probably even not large enough siege army to siege the location alone, but it's enough that we can at least attach our main army to go sweeping through Sparta. None of the Spartan fortifications... Well, that fortification might be bad enough. Although there's only 8 guys inside the fortress. I don't think any of the Spartan stuff is going to be enough to stop us. And then Sparta itself is not really fortified. It has a large garrison, as you can see, 34 guys. So we do probably want to be taking the assault with full readiness. But it's not like it's going to be full of Spartan hoplites. It's going to be full of palatial guard, right? So they've got 8 heavy, so that's going to be, I think that's 8 palatial guard right there. 8 palatial guard, 16 lights. It is a hill province, so unless I'm mistaken, they don't have any cav. Yeah, they got no garrison cav. So it'll probably end up happening because it'll be a field battle. There'll be the 8 palatial guard. We probably won't beat any of the palatial guard. Right? We're good enough. It'll probably be like a white stalemate the guard. But they got no flankers, so the cavalry will overrun the flanks, and the Spartans will run. So yeah, we got that waiting for us. We got these guys moving. We got told of a pending revolt over here because we're on balanced difficulty. If we were on higher difficulty, we probably wouldn't get in the warning for the revolt. And we have troop assignments down here. I think actually we want to literally specify do an assault there. At which point, we should know where the Egyptian army here is, and you'll probably do a move on the Egyptian army. Let's go through our territories quickly. Just realizing I forgot to start a timer. I know how long this part's going. Just start a stopwatch on the phone. Okay. Oh, this is actually a complication. Could do the Noble District here, or can do the Canivasary. I'm going to pass on the Canivasary because it's only 12 money. It's a 0 slot, so it's for just putting the infrastructure in we get 12 money for one infrastructure out. It's a good trade. So normally I'd go with this option, but we actually do need loyalty now. Noble Districts is a decent loyalty building. Land expansion. Coin maker's tempting because we'd have gold and we already have gold and silver. I'm thinking, however, I'm going to pick up the courthouse. We do at some point probably want to find 2 more culture buildings here. 2 slots there. Ledger house, okay. And we have access to the perfume next door. And we're really not worried about the decadence, right? So we can basically take the perfume, take the pleasure house, we can take the upgrade to the pleasure house to import the perfume. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Okay, so that's good. 1 build slot there. We do the coin maker. We're not that desperate to get the 6 culture or the commerce building here. Because this is one of our mountains. This is oh no, this is a hill. This is a hill. I can pave a road here then. We'll take the coin maker then. If it was a mountain, I would have just been like, yeah, we're not in a rush. We'll take the walls. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Here we got 1 build slot. We'll take the scriptorum. That'll give us our 6 culture building. And then we're probably really interested in getting some infrastructure building so we can build the road up. Here we go. Noble Garden. If we were specifically fishing for culture, Noble Garden would be good. Perfect market, yeah. Trading tents or large wall. Let's go with the trading tents. We'll build the wall. Okay, next. The Great Mill. We'd probably pass on this if it didn't provide legacy. And we'd be passing on it because it's the big bonus here is plus 60 supply and food. It's 36 food. But you can only build one of these, so we'd probably want to put somewhere where we get the supply better, but you know, it provides legacy. This is the problem with a lot of the really high-tier buildings. It's like, oh yeah, it'd be really cool to have this right on the front line where it provide lots of really nice bonuses, but by the time you build this is not the front line anymore. So yeah, we'll take the Great Mill here. 36 food's not going to be a miss. Plus 1 legacy. Oh, apparently we actually need some more infrastructure here. And next. Next. Lots of builds. Granary. No grain yet. Although we do have a place we can get grain into the neighbors fairly easily. So let's assume we will get grain and build a granary anyway. Could grab the oil mill. There's other ways to get an oil mill or get oil out on the island, so we'll probably pass on that. Harder actually to get the coal out here. Although apparently we're not in range to buy any timber. Buy any lumber. In which case then we probably want the woodcutter. Okay, we'll pass on that. We'll probably be able to make that a good bonus. We'll take the wall for the moment. Gonna go with some more loyalty. We'll take the Gladiator School. I don't need the equipment bonus here. Go to the crafting district. That's good, that's good. This is the western side of the Fertile Crescent. Yeah, we'll grab the archery range, assuming this is the place we train provincial archers. Or archer cav. Yeah, archer cav. Skirmisher cav. Bloomery. Way to import coal. We're not making coal locally, so that does make sense to do. We got the iron because we got the furnace. So it's a pretty good building. This is one of the weird buildings where, like, oh yeah, you need, you get a bonus from having iron, but to build the building, well, I suppose you don't get the bonus if you're paying the triple price for iron, right? To have the bloomery as an option, you have to have the furnace. So normally you'd have the iron bonus to apply to this, is what I'm commenting on. And then sort of talking myself into why it is actually reasonable to have it as a bonus instead of having it as the base. The answer is maybe you don't always have the bonus. You usually have the bonus. That's fine. Up on the border here. At some point we'll stop growing the border. Well, to be fair, I haven't been growing the border. It's just the border's been growing itself. Depopulated when we got it, so it's been growing fast because we've been keeping the food supply steady. Improved food, improved health. We're getting things like orchards here. We're getting like a 15 food orchard. So I don't need to put people on food. It just makes enough food. Oh, regional road. Getting some more roads running back and forth across the desert here. So if you're watching, you are enjoying. We'll take the guard tower here. Got 3 open slots here. We are in range to import the frankincense. This would be better with ceramics and coral and gold. Ceramics is something we're just going to be interested to get everywhere, so that's maybe a reason, not a reason to not want to pick this up. The coin maker is probably pretty meh. Well, we got the copper, and we're probably going to want the gold later. You know, I'll take the basilica. Move frankincense around a little bit. Now that we've taken over the Nabateans and the, what was that, Edom? In this area, we do have access to our own frankincense in this local area. Irrigation canals, because this is the actual Egypt. We got lots of food. We don't need this. We don't need the papyrus here. The papyrus is actually probably going to make it a little bit less profitable. But 21 food. 21 food. And that's the food bonus going from 15 to 25%. So that's 10% more base food coming from all the food buildings. Yeah, I think that's worth it. I'll grab the smokehouse. Always like the smokehouse and salt house, assuming we've got the cattle and the salt in the area to import. And those, you often don't even need to build those because the game just starts with those resources spawned in, or even just the buildings pre-built for them. Grab the furnace here, might as well. And out in the islands. Islands are starting to show signs of growing reasonably fast. Take clear water, make them grow a little faster. Okay, they're onto the loose, which aren't idle. We can do an Art of the Siege, we'll do an Art of the Siege. And then we'll cycle a turn. Hopefully send the Argos Navy to the bottom, and then we'll have the order to come over the siege army we're building. Okay. So Argos sailed over here, so instead of us catching them over there, well, we might catch the Spartan fleet. We catch the Argos fleet over here. Combined Argos and Athenian fleet battle, and it is a successful battle. The Athenian ship doesn't get away. Had some Athenians there, but we outnumbered them to 11 to 1. Some sort of things here. This is us assaulting a fortified location. Garrison's not going to hold out. Actually, apparently Garrison held out. No, I'm wrong. Again, we're probably large enough that every time we blow up the Egyptian army probably does the emergency recruit. Sign a trade deal with them. Our peace treaty with Nubia ended, although I doubt Nubia's going to take advantage of it. Small army of Thracians invade. Which, of course, means we're at war with Thracia. Building development. See if you can find me a new emporium. Spend money. Not spend money. No, thank you. Spend metal. Yes, please. So we got a long-range order to get there. We're probably not going to be in a position to save the garrisons. The garison's probably screwed. We'll go ahead and assign a person to be in charge of the garrison. They're going to do their best and probably lose. Okay, you go over there. You get the Spartan fleet. Hopefully the Spartan fleet does not intercept our attempt to get over. And we do have them under siege there. Again, we've got no actual siege capacity on our army here, so we have to take places by storm, so we're going to take it by storm. Your orders is to try to get those guys. We've gained the seat of power of Egypt, stealing their treasury. Okay. We got a new prospect for resources, although we removed the place we needed the prospect of resources. Can I do the same there? I can do the same there. That's probably better than trying to fish for the well. Of course, we'll do another Art of the Siege in Athens. Persia did not inflict many damage on the defenders. Our Art of the Siege. Army Siege Executive used an impressive reinforced ram. 1 extra breach gained. However, did we break? We did break one of the walls. Okay. So instead of having 3 walls, and now down to 2. Probably take it by storm. We need to break it down to 1. Otherwise, we don't necessarily have enough storming power to take it by storm. What's the state of the war with Egypt? They are fully on board with surrendering. 48% chance of taking that much legacy. We probably want to go to the second tier, which they're not on board with right now. So let's keep that war going. We could probably negotiate the surrender of the Athenians, but we haven't actually... I presumably want to fight more of Sparta. Of course, we might not do that quickly enough, because apparently the Macedonians are having a field day with them. Yeah, Macedonia is at war with Sparta. Sparta is only at war with us, our subjects, and Macedonia. So Macedonia is having a field day. Okay. We'll see if there's a Sparta left to conquer in a couple turns. So that's our troop assignments. We got a 2-turn move for them to take over the siege duty so we can free up the Immortals to march on Sparta. March on Laconia. So let's go through the territories, make sure that we're building where it makes sense to build. Have I still not cleared you? It's armor, so I just haven't hit the 2%, and I think it's a 2% to clear that one, that's why it's taking so long. Meantime to go poof is 50 turns. That would be an okay candle shop. Got all the bonuses. Don't need the loyalty. So we definitely probably don't want to use the fortune teller. So yeah, let's do... No, actually, let's do the barracks. We'll do the barracks there. Monument or fair. I'm gonna need the monument. You could do with some loyalty. The gladiator school is not a bad source for loyalty. We're basically paying 12 money for 16 loyalty. One thing to note with the gladiator schools is obviously you don't want them in places where you have a disloyalty problem. They help with loyalty, but they increase unrest result, and it's a percentile increase. So if you've got something, it makes it worse. If you've got nothing, they don't make it worse. So they're really good in places where it's helping you not have any. Build the noble district here. Yeah, we'll build the noble district here. It'll give us 6 culture buildings. And then if we get another open slot there, we'll probably just start focusing on trying to roll for paved roads. And or other upgrades. And take the wall. This is a place where we want to grow it for equipment. The wall upgrades are pretty good for equipment. The first wall is pretty bad for it, but the rest are pretty good. I mean, the wall is very much a building that it gets better the higher the level it is. And it does need to be really high level to be good. The low-level versions are a bit meh. Although against the AI, they work reasonably well. Figs. Really needs to be a double bonus, so we're gonna pass. Tempting has all the bonuses, but we have access to tier 3 culture buildings in here. We don't need culture. Yeah, we don't need culture. Probably want a better commerce building. Actually, how good is that orchard? Yeah. To be fair, the figs here would actually make the orchard better. The delicacy shop figs would make the orchard better. I think we're gonna try to re-rolling here until we hit either regional road, a good military building, or a good commerce building. Oh, and for doing that, we don't need very much infrastructure here. Not bringing copper. That'd probably be pretty good. Yeah. I'll bring in the forge. This will be next to the place where we're already getting the copper, so it's less important to have the ability to import copper there, but moving copper around is not bad. Island has another person. We probably do want the anchorage in the island, so we'll take the anchorage. The other island. We'll take the anchorage again. Helps to get in and out of the islands. Yeah, that's not the commerce building we would want. Don't really need more infrastructure buildings. Seed storage could be better. Although this is a place where we are expecting to get grain next to it at some point, which then is going to be decent from that perspective. Yeah, we'll take the seed storage. Order for money from the bank or a bunch of culture. Build the money from the bank. Noble district. Training ground. This is on a reasonable body of water, so we'll put the harbor here. We may at some point make boats, in which case the harbor would be good. Let's grab the wheelmaker, work our way up to tier 2 infrastructure. Yeah, let's do the wax. That'll get us up to 6 commerce buildings, so we can upgrade the regional paved. 2 open slots. The armor steel hasn't really got rid of this. This has got a mean term of getting rid of actually 10 turns. I think we've been sitting here for more than 10 turns, so not getting lucky. Not getting lucky at all. We don't need weapons depot. Let's do the reroll here. Three build slots there. Not good enough yet for the irrigation system. Although this is the place that probably will get good enough. Racing track, we don't need the loyalty yet. It's not making enough money without the wine and or wild beasts. Yeah, I'm gonna get the reroll here. There's better options. Which means I don't need any of that infrastructure. Here we go. Royal Court and Perfumery should be done next turn. That looks good. Therms. I'm gonna take the therms here because it's a 0 slot upgrade. It's good enough. Good enough if, if I'm not taking up a slot with it. It wouldn't have built the first level, it would was given the option, but having the first level, building the second level isn't too bad. Do we need weapons down here? We produce no weapons down here, so it would make sense to build some weapons, yeah. We have enough trade range that probably provides weapons for all of Egypt, but... Regional road. Line expansion. Probably put some guys to actually, feed the garrison. Given the circumstance here. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm making enough food. I can take someone off food, but I'm not sure, yeah. Okay, we're on to the loose. Not surprising, the Egyptian territories have a need for task orders. And then we've taken from the Athenians, although we'll probably give this back to the Athenians. Okay, so that's all the idols. We got you sailing, we got you marching, we got you assaulting. You're coming down after that army. The cavalry is running amok in the unfortified Egyptian hinterland. Let's cycle that turn. Okay, so this is the garrison up against the attacking Thesian army. Nah, that was what I was kind of expecting the garrison to have happen to it. Goodbye, garrison. Half surprised we didn't lose the general. And in a draw, although we did destroy one of their units, so on the second attempt they'll probably be more successful. Naval battle. We have caught the Spartan fleet. It's a proper fleet battle. Although the Spartan fleet is a warship going up against proper warships, so it's having a bad day. And we did lose a boat. One boat went to the bottom for 2 Spartan boats. In goes the next assault. Here we go. The garrison falls. Oh, this is the siege army. Although, the siege army might technically win this sort of naval engagement. So yeah, we lose that fight. And then eventually, yeah, they're rolling zeros, but there's a lot of rolls. They did end up... Oh, end and draw? Okay. Eventually we want to win a proverbial battle against it, and it routes, yeah. Okay, we exhausted them. 8v1. Nice cleanup there. There's an Athenian army. If this goes poorly, it'll probably be because we're exhausted from the assault, but it looks like it isn't. Okay, so we're coming up just on short of 13,000. Again, I think it's just, well, just under 18,000 where we're going to win. Peace treaty between Macedonia and Persia has ended, so we no longer can march through Macedonia, and in theory, Macedonia could declare on us. Okay, they should be landing next turn. Ooh, the Macedonian... Okay, we'll hold where we are. We'll see if the Spartan army retakes Achaia. If they do, we'll march against the Spartan army. We got more guys coming ashore, so we may have some supply issues next turn. Now, over in Egypt, you ready to give us what we want? 2% chance, so this is at least something we can propose. We are going to propose it. You're going after the Egyptian army. It's laying siege to one of our locations, so it's maybe not likely to move. You're going to continue that motion. That looks fine. The general is dead, but that's fine. We didn't have him deployed, apparently. We're going to adopt the local administration, which is always good to use. Where can we play that? Presumably want to play it someplace where we're planning on keeping the territory, so probably over... ooh, one of the islands here. We'll hit the island with it. We know we're keeping the island. So yeah, troops have got orders. Couple turns we should have a peace deal properly with the Egyptians. Although, it was only a 2% chance, and yeah, it'll probably go up because it'll probably take more war score, but it might not actually have a reasonable percent chance. So it might be a long shot on actually getting peace with them. Okay, we are able to just get the Builder's Hole complete in a turn. We'll grab the furnace there. More than enough to finish in a turn. On to the next location. Okay, next. Yeah, probably want to build the palisade. And the Great Mill will be done next turn. Lots to build here, in particular stuff to build on the island. We need the siege workshop to get rid of the petty nobles. Watchtower isn't going to make that harder. Should make it, in fact, easier by reducing the number of military buildings to hit. Improve the dock on the other island. And we'll build that farm. 2 nearby structures will produce more because we're providing grain. Although, so many good choices. We got the farm, we got the land expansion, we got the training ground. I'm spoiled for choice there. We're going the farm, but the other ones were tempting it as well. Temple upgrade. We're apparently not converting people here anymore. Well, this is an inland area, so this isn't competing with anything. Yeah, so definitely take the major temple here. Import ceramics, which we can, which is not going to be a problem. Provides us money, provides us... Okay, it's not technically not net producing any culture, but provides us more money because of the frankincense. And we can get it done in a turn. Toolmaker. Remember us having a tool problem over in this portion of the country for a while, so that may solve that once and for all. You're removed by armor. We've already hit it. And that's a good ceramics works, so I'm tempted to do the ceramics works. Yeah, the ceramics. We may technically not need the ceramics, but we're going to grab it anyway. And there we go, ceramics done in a turn. 2, that's fine, that's fine. 1 open building slot there. Grab the crafting district. Yeah, more than enough. Regional road. Coastal market. Sure. Do the quant for the reroll. Well, it's an expensive reroll, but we're taking the 0 slot and basically getting the next attempt to find something good. We'll grab Smokehouse. No olive oil in range. Yeah, we'll take the archery range. Is this inland? This is inland. You know, we'll take the temple. It's not a good temple by any means of it, but... Don't need the racing track. Again, not... It'd be better if we had wine or wild beasts. Could do the crafting district. Not making enough on the irrigation yet. We'll do the barracks. This is another place where we probably do want to keep growing it. There's got all the infrastructure there basically to start building wonders. Make sure they're not starving while they're sieging. Next, Alan's out here. Food surplus. We can put everything on infrastructure. Okay. So you're removed by armor, so we should be on the lookout for the armor. Didn't hit the armor this time, so we're not going to worry too much about it. We're going to go to the smokehouse. They're on to the loose ones. Okay, let's cycle the turn, see how our troops move. The turn after next, we should see the result of our negotiations. The expectation is like 2%, although it'll go up a little bit. $28 versus 7 should be an easy win. Oh yeah. Similar thing here, apparently. Nice, clear, easy cleanup of the Thracian forces. Oh, Egypt did take the fortification before our reinforcements arrived. Although one turn isn't enough for them to replace the garrison, I think, so should immediately just fall back into our hands. Yeah. Oh, a desert's a sandstorm or scorching desert or whatever the effect is delaying our cavalry army down in Egypt. If any emissaries have reached us a proposal for peace, whatever your offering is not enough. Counter proposal. You want to just relinquish an objective? No. You're gonna give us the islands. You're gonna give us Athens, and you're gonna give us all your Greek holdings. There is a 100% chance they would just accept that. Straight up, you're asking for it, we'll give it to you. They're not going to give us anything else besides what we're asking for in that, but you know, that's kind of all I want. So, we'll let them keep that part of Macedonia. There's maybe an argument I should try to take that one off as well. But no, we'll let them keep that one. Here we go. 100% chance they'll accept. We are going to propose the treaty. This one we're just going to reject because, oh, apparently they got some territory up there. Yeah, no, we're still rejecting that treaty. We have a new ruler. Very good administrator. Bad at military. So we need more military buildings to get the same military expertise ratio. Okay. People of Persia have honored their former ruler by erecting in Ampina, a royal tomb to house his remains. That's cost a lot of money. It costs us like 10,000 money, but we just have that much sitting around. If anything, that lowered the administrative burden, because the administrative burden multiplier is based on your treasury. So the bigger the treasury, the harder it is to make more money. Virtuous administration has been extended. We're going to adopt a local administration again. Put it on the island, because we know we're going to keep the island. Brickwork somewhere got destroyed. Okay. Okay. So, the Immortals move out. The other stacks stay behind, lay siege. We probably still don't have enough to siege the thing down yet. So we're basically waiting for the Athenians to hand over the garrison. Which apparently they're just willing to do at this point. That's how badly they want out of the war. Of course, we carry on as if they're going to say no, because things can go wrong. Similarly, down in Egypt, next turn is when we're going to figure out. We can't see what the percent chance is for them to accept this turn. Of course, we still carry out the war as if we think they're gonna say no. We got a fair or courthouse. That's a decent fair, but we're gonna go to the courthouse. And a courthouse there. The courthouse, of course, it doesn't provide the same culture the Tribune does if the Tribune has access to Marvel. That's why you're seeing it's costing us culture to upgrade to it. Or may have seen if you were looking closely enough. Damn, it's tempting, but we're gonna pass on. We're gonna take the Tribunal. Glassworks. 2 nearby buildings would get bonuses. It's a decent building otherwise, sure. One open slot. And a land expansion there. We'll take. We should probably put enough infrastructure on it to get done in here. There we go. 1 new slot. We do need to work up towards the Builders Guild at some point. Don't really want the clay pit. I'll probably procrastinate longer and just take the smokehouse. Tempting. But we don't need the loyalty. We'll take the crafting district. Oh, and we almost certainly don't need that level of industry to build a crafting district, do we? No, we don't. Right, we got enough squirreled away, we can just totally turn off all the infrastructure and the buildings alone will build it. Oh, lots to build here. We got 7 things to build in one location. We're looking for the siege workshop. The weapons manufacturer is obviously not a siege workshop. We got weapons out this far, so we probably don't want to build. We'll take the harbor, because it will at least make transport in and off of the island for troop purposes better. Range. Take the fishery, because it's providing bonuses to neighboring locations. Take the wall upgrade using none of the 7 slots we've got there. Wall upgrade. And the amphitheater. We can probably build the amphitheater a lot faster. One building slot. I don't think we need the cloth that badly. Let's take the... Let's take the wall. This is the large wall, so it's fairly expensive. Yep. I'm just going to reroll here. I don't like the options I'm presented with. One open slot there. That was a okay orchard. We've got the no oases, which is providing a pretty large malice, but we'll take the orchard anyway. Upgrade the dock. Upgrade the brickwork so we can upgrade a regional road later. One open building slot. And yeah, large mill, 19 more food. I'll take that last guy that's just been... Or no, this isn't one of the places we've got people sitting on food. We'll have to take people off of food for even longer. Not enough to build even in one turn. It's still 2. 2 to go there. And we'd want a better trading post. Port intelligence not super great. We'll take the stables and get access to the last tier. Military buildings up here on the coast, or on the border. 2 building slots there. Did we hit anything interesting? We hit the well, or hit the wall. Also hit the mill. Let's do the mill. Need another 50 for somewhere. It's 50 production, not 50 culture. So there we go. Next, Judea. Do the coin maker. Do the cult site for the extra conversion rate. Yeah, still 2 turns on the coin maker, but we'll have to roll with it. Can't make it any faster. Depression is removed with Builders Guild, so we do need to go up the industry side. Although that is a very tempting granary, so we'll take the granary. It's like... we're not under siege anymore, so we can put everyone back on production. Yeah, that's a decent seed storage. We'll take it. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, and then we're on to loose. We're going to mostly be places we probably don't care about. Sure, we'll stick a farm there. I don't control enough of Greece to make a province in Greece yet. We'll have to fight the Spartans for a bit. Okay, so let's cycle the turn. We should get our response from Egypt over this turn cycle. It was 2% when we proposed it. It's probably gotten a little bit better. So obviously they've said no, because there's some fighting going on. It just means we'll have an even higher percent chance of success on the next attempt. This is a city assault, we'll just assume that's going to succeed. Major battle between us and the Spartans. 9v8, oh, the unstoppable Spartan hoplites versus the strong veteran immortals. Slim victory. We were defeated. Our flanks fell. However, we lost no infantry in the withdrawal. Surprisingly, it was the Spartan cavalry that won that battle. Okay. Egyptian chariots have been successfully run down, apparently, by the garrison. Took them a couple attempts. Sparta is proposing to settle peace. Probably not via the terms we want. Counter proposal. We want your capital, which you're not going to give us. Oh, interesting. Interesting. The Athenians have surrendered to the Spartans. We had them on the ropes, and rather than lose, they've surrendered to Sparta. Okay, so we're obviously not accepting your peace deal. That's being rejected out of hand. Really need a better offensive general. 2-0. Okay, we're gonna take the -1 efficiency level so we can get a double dice roll in the attack. And then we're gonna order the attack again. Go ahead and take over the rest of the Athenian territory out west. Had a Army around here, what happened? Oh, it's, there it is. Am I still at war with Argos? We are. We actually are in a state where we have probably the ability to negotiate a separate surrender with them. 51% chance they'll give us the islands if we basically leave them their capital. So we'll propose that. Okay, so we got marching orders over in the west. Over here up in Greece. Yeah, let's just storm the next fortress. Reject them a little bit. And then we look at negotiating with the Egyptians again. Propose peace. We want a tier 2 humiliate. 21% chance they accept. Up from the 2 from the last proposal. Send it once more. Egypt felt the offer was not in their best interests. I kind of understand that. Archer's administration. Rebels down there, that's fine. Bringing it up from both us and Egypt. We got a new adopt local administration. We just did it on that island. We're planning on taking this from the Greeks, so we'll set up a local administration over there. 15 turns with which to achieve this mission. And in practice, we basically are going to have to convince Sparta to give us both Athens and Sparta, and or simply annex both. If we occupy all of Athens, Athens will actually surrender even as a client state. So we actually are pretty close to that. It's just the one holdout there, the 2 islands, or the 1 island. So yeah, the 1 holdout there, the island, and we gotta siege down Athens. That isn't progressing. That's the problem with the siege, is the siege isn't progressing. We haven't rolled badly enough for it to backslide, but... Okay, let's do Hellenic Interloper, and I think this is where we'll put the part break in. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be a part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, this is going to be the tea break, the first tea break of the stream. We end up doing like a 5 or 6 part stream. There'll probably be another one at the end of the 4th part. But this is the end of the 2nd part. This is where the stream would normally be, at the middle of the stream, and where I go get a new cup of tea, because the cup of tea is empty. So until the next part, I'm going to go ahead and wish you all the best of luck and a good time. And I'm going to go ahead and wish you all good luck and a good time until the next part. With that, bye for now.